Every project starts with an idea. A sketch, a pile of parts, and the belief that something incredible can be created. When I build and create new things, I'm reminded that our amazing universe also points to a creator. For me, that creator is Jesus Christ. He gives my life purpose, hope, and the promise of eternal life through His love and grace. Whether you're here to build, learn, or be inspired, I'm glad you're here. Now let's create something amazing together.
Welcome. This is a sign that I made. It is a replica of the one from the Dino Institute in Disney's Animal Kingdom in Florida. That attraction is no longer there. Unfortunately, they're retheming that whole area, but I really liked the logo that they had, so I tried to replicate it. I designed this on my own using Fusion 360, a CNC to cut out the base part of this. I 3D printed some stuff, I laser engraved some stuff, and I put a hanger on the back there so I could hang this up with some of my other signs. So if you're interested in seeing how I designed and built this, stick around for this video. Well, here's the sign at Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's a few of these at the attraction. The attraction now closed, unfortunately, but I was able to get some screenshots of this online. There's a lot going on here. We've got some symbols, we got some circles, and we've got a base that's everything's mounted onto. And after doing some research into this, I think what the sign was supposed to show is that it was basically created out of brass, like a stamped brass, and then it's been weathered over the years. So this is the kind of look that I want to go with. So I have to replicate the microscope, these bones, the shovel, the dinosaur, and then all the letters. So I'll take you over to Fusion 360 and show you how I did that. So here's the model I came up with. I went with this back area here that's got the circular pattern on it, then these circles, the inner circle, the outer circle, the lettering, and then the symbols, obviously. So some of this was a little bit tricky. What I had to do is try to look for fonts that would match, and it was very hard to do that. So what I did is I just show you here. I scanned a bunch of images, and I was able to replicate the words and stick them on my file here to get them to work. The dinosaur was created by looking at some online photos and then tracing that to get it on here. It's a flat shape, it's not three-dimensional, doesn't have the carvings as the original, but I'm not that great at form sculpting, so I had to go with that. I did create the microscope from scratch in Fusion. The bones I scanned and had AI make it into a 3D model, and same with the shovel. So the shovel, I'm going to actually have a little notch in here because in the original, as you can see right over here, it is broken right there. So that's what I'm going to do with my model as well. So everything that you see in this gray color is going to be 3D printed. I do have a large 3D printer I can put this large circle on. It's about 16 inches around. I could also laser cut those if I wanted to, or well, I guess that's the only option, laser cut or 3D print them. So I'm going to go with 3D printing and then figure out how to glue them on. So that's going to be a pretty cool little task that I came up with. I'm going to first, this yellow section here, I'm going to carve out of 1/2 inch MDF. And as you can see, there is a round over right here. I'm going to put that in as well on my carving on the CNC. And then what I'm going to do is once that flat shape is all ready to go, I'm going to put it on my laser cutter and then have the laser cutter engrave where all these lines should go, where I glue the letters and the symbols onto. So that's my plan. I'll take you over to my Fusion model and show you that. So it's pretty basic. That's it right there. And I'm going to just show you what it looks like with the tool paths. So let's just generate that. This is a 1/2 inch MDF. Let's preview that. and it will cut out this whole shape here. It has these little tabs in here to hold it in so it doesn't get flung out. And as you can see, there is a slight bevel right here because I'm using a 1/4 inch round over. So I'll use a 1/4 inch round over, do the bevel first, then I'm going to use a 1/4 inch cutout straight cutting bit and cut the whole thing out. Pop this guy out, put it on my laser cutter, make sure it's centered obviously. So what I'm going to do to center it is I'm going to also laser cut this whole pattern out of cardstock, like a poster board, stick that on my laser cutter, and then I'll know where to place this template here, or this base here, and then it will engrave where all the little letters and symbols are supposed to go. So that's my plan. Let's take it over to the CNC, cut it out, and see how it goes. So in this part, I've taken the honeycomb bed out of my laser cutter, put it over here, because I'm going to add this cardstock to the front of it. I'm going to the top of it. I'm going to tape that on, and I'm going to set up my job to be in the center of the bed. And what it's going to do then is it's going to cut out the template for that onto the cardstock. So when the whole thing is inside of the laser cutter, I'll have a template so that I can put the MDF body down there and line it all up to do all the laser engraving. So here's the back. It's got the crosshair right here, and what I'm going to do is install one of these hangers on it, just like that. So I'll drill a couple holes in here, and that'll be set up for later on. Here's the front. You can see it's engraved, and that's where all the different parts are going to go eventually. But before I do any of that, I'm going to take the sanding sealer and just apply it to the whole surface, front and back, before I primer it. Actually, I'm going to apply the sanding sealer, sand it a little bit, add all the different parts onto it, and then do some primer on it before I do the final painting. So that's what's next. Here's what it looks like after the seal coat has been put on. It changes the color of the MDF, but it's got a harder, shinier surface on it, which will be great for painting. And here are the 3D printed parts ready to be installed. This one here, I decided instead of laser cutting, I'm going to put that on my printer, and I printed that off. It fit just barely on the Bamboo X1C. And then for the larger circle, it's quite large. This one here, I've got some join marks there. I cut this into 4 parts and printed it. And I'm glad I also have a Elegoo Neptune 3 Max. So I printed it again with a complete circle all in one. So comparing it to the one that I 3D printed, they're pretty close. This one here, after being glued, is just a little bit off in terms of dimensions. Not the size particularly, but the roundness of the shape. So I'm going to end up just using this and putting that on there. So my next step is to take all the parts and one by one glue them on here. And I think I'm going to be using E6000 glue. I use this a lot on my builds, and it seems to be pretty good. It's industrial strength adhesive, so give that a shot. So now the fun part, gluing all this on and seeing what it looks like after that process is finished. After close inspection, you may be noticing that there's some blurry lines here or double images, and that's true. I had an accident with my laser cutter when I originally laser engraved all of these pieces the first time. I forgot to set the Z height again for the MDF and it crashed into it, so I had to restart everything. So I sanded the surface of this and re-engraved it, but you got a double image, and luckily I know which image to go with. It's the higher up one, so that will all be covered up anyways once it's primered and painted. But yep, had a little accident.
So for some reason, I don't know why, but I deleted the footage of me finishing the sign off. So what I did here was I sprayed the entire thing with a coppery colored spray paint and then let that dry. Then I'm just dry brushing the entire surface of this plaque with a greeny blue color. It's a Home Depot called Deep Breath, and let that dry. Once that's dry, I sprayed it with a satin Verathane. Super happy that you were able to join me today as I showed you how I designed and built this sign. I'm going to move on to another sign very soon. So until I do that, God bless you, and Lord willing, we'll see you real soon.